presentation of the 2023 AARP California Andrus Award for Community Service. My name is Joe Garbanzos. I'm the AARP California State President. And today, this afternoon, we're joined by Nancy McPherson, AARP California State Director. Hello, Nancy. Gail Moore, nominator of this year's Andrus Award winner. And of course, our recipient of the award, Betty Kwan Chinn, founder of the Betty Kwan Chinn Homeless Foundation and the 2023 Andrus Award recipient. To all AARP staff, volunteers, and friends of Betty who took the time to join us, welcome and thank you. As a background, the Andrus Award is AARP's most prestigious volunteer recognition award. And although we are doing the presentation virtually, the award remains just as special, as inspiring volunteerism continues to drive our work at AARP. Now, sharing a bit of a history at AARP. Yeah, for those of you who may not know, AARP began over 60 years ago, founded by a visionary woman, Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus. Dr. Andrus was born in the San Francisco Bay Area. As an adult, she went to work in Los Angeles as a teacher at Lincoln High School. It's still there, where she served as the first female principal of an urban high school in California. I love teachers. Now, sharing a little bit about the chicken coop story. You might have heard of it, but it's worth retelling. Dr. Andrus discovered that a former teacher was living in a chicken coop because she could not afford decent housing, healthcare, and food. So this shocking incident drove Dr. Andrus to devote the rest of her life to improving the quality of life for older adults. Now, she started the National Retired Teachers Association. That's the forerunner of AARP. Dr. Andrus went on to establish the National Retired Teachers Association in 1947 to help protect and advocate for retired educators. Then in 1958, she founded AARP. It's an organization that has continued to grow and serve older adults and their families for the past 6 decades. Today, AARP has a national footprint. We have offices in all 50 states, as well as the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And our national office, we have a presence in Washington, D.C. AARP staff and volunteers on behalf of older adults nationwide work for about 3.2 million members that we represent. 3.2 members statewide, as well as all those ages 50 plus in their families to choose how they live as they age. AARP is driven by Dr. Andrus's belief that it is only by giving of oneself to others that we truly live. I always love this phrase, very inspiring. AARP has long valued the spirit of volunteerism and the important contribution volunteers make to their communities, their neighbors, and advocating for policies serving their needs. This is the rationale for AARP Andrus Award for Community Service. AARP California recognizes extraordinary volunteers and community leader by presenting the organization's most prestigious and celebrated volunteer award. The process of nomination and selection is rigorous. So in 2023, the AARP California State Office received 49 Andrus Award nominations that were reviewed by an experienced team who made an assessment and determination how the nominated volunteers' work, their body of work, improved the community, supporting AARP's vision and mission, and inspiring others to do volunteer work. So I'd like to thank the AARP California staff and volunteers, the team who participated in the 2023 selection process. I'd like to give them a shout out. Yolanda Chu, thank you. Gail Nagado, Karen Prath, Samantha Alonso, Sonia Cesares. Well done. Thank you very much for your work. This year, AARP California is proud to present the 2023 Andrus Award of Community Service to Betty Kwan Chinn, founder of the Betty Kwan Chinn Homeless Foundation. AARP California selected Ms. Kwan Chinn for her remarkable service and for the significant impact she has made on the lives of others. She is indeed the personification of Ethel Percy Andrus in our present time. So before we proceed, we are gonna view a brief vignette, a video, with remarks from our AARP Chief Executive Officer, Joanne Jenkins. Shay, could you play the video, please?
Hello, I'm Joanne Jenkins, the CEO of AARP. Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus founded AARP over 60 years ago, issuing a charge to its members to serve, not to be served. Through her own volunteer service, she inspired them to use their time, talent, and experience to help improve the lives of all Americans by volunteering in their communities. Today, service is at the center of everything we do. Day in and day out, AARP volunteers across the country dedicate their time and experience to improve the lives of others. Since 2002, AARP has been honoring that commitment by recognizing an exceptional volunteer aged 50 and older in each state with the Andrus Award for Community Service. The award criteria are clear. The Andrus Award recipient must enrich their community through volunteer service and provide inspiration for others to volunteer. As an Andrus Award recipient, you personify those qualities. Thank you for all that you do in your community, and congratulations on receiving the Andrus Award for Community Service.
Thank you, Shay. With that, I'd like to introduce Ms. Gail Moore. She will share what compelled her to nominate Ms. Betty Kwan Chinn for this year's AARP California Andrus Award for Community Service. Gail, please. Thank you.
Mrs. Chinn, I'm hungry. The words of a child living in a car with her family. Betty began feeding that family and eventually many, many others. She has done this for 42 years. She now feeds over 400 people a day. Despite receiving citations for feeding people without proper certification, she kept feeding them. It made the news. Somehow, she received a truck outfitted for food service and the proper authorization for it. Betty's Blue Angel is the name of the truck. I received an email asking for nominations for the AARP Andrus Award for volunteer service. Betty Chinn immediately came to mind. I think everybody in Eureka would think of Betty first. What started as a mother taking extra food to a family at her son's school has grown into the Betty Kwan Chinn Homeless Foundation. I Googled this, and it consists of the Betty Kwan Chinn Day Center, a commercial kitchen providing meals for hundreds every day, an after-school place for children, computers, assistance with preparing to look for a job, and much more. She built a shower and laundry facility so these people had an opportunity to get clean. There's Betty's Blue Angel Village, housing up to 40 people and their pets with food, medical interventions, mental health and substance abuse services, and employment assistance. Then there's Betty's House, family shelter and medical respite for people released from the hospital. Betty's Annex, emergency shelter for single women and children. Betty's Blue Angel Outreach provides meals, clothes, coats, blankets, medical prescriptions, backpacks, and transportation to school for children. I am excited that Betty has been chosen for this award. Her work enables people with enormous struggles to learn how to take care of themselves and their families, get employed, and get back into mainstream society with their dignity restored. Congratulations, Betty, and thank you from a grateful community. Thank you. I'm done.
Well done, Gail. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to introduce our AARP California State Director, Nancy McPherson, to present the award.
Thank you, Joe. And Gail, thank you for your leadership. So inspiring that you are looking to recognize and support someone in your own community who has done such extraordinary work. Thanks to everybody who's joining us virtually as we celebrate AARP California's 2023 Andrus Award recipient. You've already heard that the award is named after our founder. We do want to note that Dr. Andrus was a volunteer her entire time with AARP. She never collected a paycheck for the work that she did with the National Retired Teachers Association or with AARP. And as Joe mentioned, she actually personally lived by the motto, to serve, not to be served. And you will see that motto in our state offices. It continues to shape our work years after she founded this association to help older Americans age with dignity and purpose. We give the Andrus Award annually, as Joanne Jenkins said, to one Californian whose service is a unique and really valuable contribution to society. It's a competitive process, as Joe noted, with many outstanding candidates from across the state who are considered each year. This year, we are so honored to present Betty Kwan Chinn with AARP's Andrus Award for Community Service in recognition of her outstanding community contributions. And we'll also be making a $1,000 donation to the Betty Kwan Chinn Homeless Foundation. As shared by both Joe and Gail, Betty's record of achievement, her service and commitment provides an extraordinary example of the difference that volunteerism can make in the lives of individuals and in the well-being and vitality of a community. Betty's own experience with homelessness began at age 7, when her family was violently forced from their home in China during Mao's Cultural Revolution. She endured untold horrors until her arduous escape to Hong Kong 4 years later. And after she immigrated to the United States, she took refuge with relatives in California, later marrying and raising 2 sons in Eureka. Her life changed again one day when she noticed that one of her son's classmates was living out of the family car. Ms. Chinn started sending extra food to school to share with the family, and that's when her now 4 decades of service to the community began. Today, we heard from Gail some aspects of the Betty Kwan Chinn Homeless Foundation, but I'm just going to re-emphasize those because I think they're worth us paying attention to. The Chinn's Day Center offering transitional housing and employment and family services. Betty's House, a 32-bed family shelter. Betty's Blue Angel Village, a temporary housing shelter built from shipping containers. Betty's Annex, a women and children's center that opened during the pandemic. Betty Showers, a public shower facility, and Betty's Blue Angel Outreach, which provides wraparound services to hard-to-reach individuals in need of specialty services. I hope you're as impressed as I am when you hear the wealth of resources that she is working to provide to others. I would like to read a short blurb from Gail's nomination of Betty, and this is what Gail said. Betty has given the homeless and needy self-respect, hope, and dignity. She helps fill their basic needs for food, a place to shower, and shelter. She provides clothing, coats, and socks in the winter, backpacks, and school supplies for children in the fall. She respects all those she serves and helps them to feel less outcast. She thanks everyone, while it is she who earns our thanks. Betty, your persistent work to address homelessness and support those most in need in Humboldt County is an inspiration to us all. California continues to lead the nation in homelessness, with rates of older adult homelessness on the rise, and Humboldt County is not immune to this epidemic. Betty, you have risen to support your community and address this big challenge. You have leveraged your own trials and tribulations of life to lead the charge, to be inspired to do this work, to support those most in need, and to address homelessness through the Betty Kwan Chinn Homelessness Foundation. We see you as a fierce advocate and a volunteer, all while demonstrating the utmost humanity for Californians in need. Your volunteer service really does enhance the lives of people of all ages and abilities, especially low-income older adults, and it aligns with AARP's mission and values. We are so proud to present you with AARP's most prestigious volunteer award, the AARP Andrus Award for Community Service. Betty, I know you've already received the award. Are you able to hold it up to share it with our audience? So everyone can hold it up for just a second so Shay can get a picture of you doing that. Shay, tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Betty, would you like to make any remarks? We're going to unmute you. Go ahead and start.
I encourage everybody to be a volunteer. When I start volunteer, I had no education. I am mute. I cannot talk, and I had not knowing what I'm doing. And then for 42 years, I learned so much. Just be a volunteer. I held how to connect people and talk to people. I no longer mute anymore, and I feel good about myself. And volunteer is not a paycheck. The paycheck cannot pay off the volunteer, the benefit from being about volunteer. You so much healing for my own self and see so much kindness from the people. And so much people receive from a kindness from our community. And this is not the money can be a volunteer. And many times anybody asks me, can you be a consultant for our organization in outer area? I said, no. If you want my volunteer for your organization, I will. I went to Texas, I went to Alaska, help them start the program, but I don't want to get paid because pay cannot pay off. It's just so honored to be a volunteer. The people accept you go in their life. And it's just a beautiful thing, especially right now, being an older age. And still, like today is really my beautiful day. I can receive this award, and I really thank you very much for all your guys' hard work. And I'm sure a lot of people out there deserve it even more than me. Everybody do something, but I really lucky. I appreciate it, and thank you, Gail. Thank you.
That's awesome, Betty. Thank you. Once again, thank you for your work and service. May your kind of volunteerism continue to thrive. So thank you. So for those who may have joined us a bit late, we had a special opportunity this afternoon of presenting to Betty Kwan Chinn the AARP California 2023 Andrus Award for Community Service. You can learn more about the AARP California Andrus Award and the body of work that Betty has created at aarp.org/ca. Betty, Gail, thank you so much. And thank you to all the volunteers of the Betty Kwan Chinn Homeless Foundation for making a difference in your community and inspiring future generations of volunteers to come. To our guests, we hope you had a wonderful day. Thank you for sharing your time in celebrating with us, celebrating Miss Betty Kwan Chinn 2023 award winner for community service. We appreciate you. Thank you much.